Our next battle is going to be mousesports versus Space Soldiers, our last week of ESL Pro League, and I'm your host, Machine. Now, the first map of this affair is going to be going down on Mirage. Both teams hungry for this one. And before we do get into the nitty-gritty of the individual teams, we're going to get a bit more wide berth and, in fact, take a closer look at the map itself. Mirage, we have our analyst Chad on the floor. He's going to be breaking it down for you. What have you got for us today, Chad?
Oh, why, thank you, Alex. Obviously, everyone knows Mirage is one of those maps where you need a couple pocket strategies. Now, an A execute is one that everybody needs. As you can see right here, it's North versus Godsent, not Space Soldiers or mousesports, but North do a fantastic A execute. So we can start playing this bad boy. We can get it running. But as I was saying, everybody needs an execute in their back pocket to be able to bring out. The difference with this North execute is they have well orchestrated Molotovs towards the bomb site, as well as these two smoke grenades you can see here towards middle to force more attention to that part of the map. This is where you can see, I suppose, the finesse, this boost here to throw an extra Molotov. They've obviously got jump smokes, all that good go gear going on. And the whole point of this is to use as many Molotovs to displace the CTs out of position as possible. You can see landing there in front of the smoke, at the triple box, under the balcony, in sandwich as well. We're going to get to the map overview any second here, and I'm going to be able to demonstrate what that kind of forces the CTs to do in different environments. Now, you can see the post-plant scenario being set up here. They're not happy to play any position. We'll just get it paused when the smokes come in. You can see the CTs are very close here towards the A ramp, most of them based towards the balcony. So if I just point out the Molotovs that got thrown before, we've got one that landed there, we've got one that landed just a little bit further in front of that, and one under the balcony. They're the important ones for me. They're going to push the CTs out of the close range quarters, and then at that point, you can have a no-go zone where they're kind of pushed out here into the center part of the bomb site. Flashbangs are going to come over. That's going to get anybody left in obscurity, and from that point, they're just able to push out the A ramp with a very simple flight path, knowing what's clear and where the CTs basically have to be standing. We can continue to play this one out, and you can see it from one more angle. The three close CTs here from Godsent, either displaced by the Molotov or flashbang completely destroyed at this point, and then the North guys are just able to collapse onto the site, get the bomb down, really unscathed. And you can see here Hamper's trying to make a play through the smoke, but he's going to get quickly traded because the number advantage is all in advantage of North. So, as I was saying, you definitely need to have strategies like that in your back pocket to be able to pull out at different points of the game.
What's most notable for me is just how frustrating that must be as a defensive team, because you've got three players invested on A, you're all in position with weaponry, and then in the blink of an eye, you're either standing in the open, flashbanged, or dead.
Now, this is the thing. Obviously, that Godsent team was on a force buy, a bit of a mix buy. They didn't have the utility to play that level of defense. Right. When you see that all come over, normally you want to throw your own smokes, your own Molotovs to slow it down, allow the other CTs to rotate in, or another normal setup we see over towards that bomb site is the CTs play retake. So at that point, none of the CTs would have gone down. They would have conceded the bomb site. The bomb would have gone down, but then afterwards, you've already started the timer as terrorists. You've got 40 seconds on the clock, and then it becomes who plays the post plant better.
Right. I mean, Yanko, nothing really to add to that, I'm sure.
No, but I mean, it's why City started playing retake in the first place. They were struggling with those A executes, really. And if you look at that, imagine if the CTs weren't in the site. North used all of their utility in that round. And if you come in sweeping with the retake, with smokes and incendiaries of your own, they're going to have a very hard time, you know, making sure the bomb explodes. So it's always, in this particular round, it was a great call because they knew it was a low buy and everything, but it's always a matter of making the right read.
See, now for me, it would feel so foreign and so difficult to, when the nades start raining in, the reaction to be run away. Like as a CT, when you know the players are coming, it must be so odd to be like, okay, let's play retake and just step away from the side.
Yeah, you've got to pick your battles. Now, the difference is when you go into a matchup like the one we're about to witness, mousesports, one of the best Mirage teams in the whole world. They have Rops as that A-bomb site anchor. He's good for one. He's good for one every day of the week. And what he does fantastically well is if he's not playing retake and playing in the bomb site, he delays enough that Sunny, the connector player, who we see on this map going huge time and time again, is able to play in through the smokes and be able to trade out kills and make the rounds a little bit more interesting. I think that's one of the things mousesports do really well, is all fight together when there is chaos. And they don't have a problem with consistently just picking and trying to make those rounds the mousesports game plan is to make the after plant scenario, you know, a 2-on-3 in their favor. They don't mind it conceding the plant. They just want to make the rounds as messy as possible.
And this is a big game for mousesports. Now, the reason being is that they can actually get to Dallas today. You can show you how they need to qualify. I think it's 2 points. I could be mistaken, but it can be achieved today. They need to win one map. That's pretty much the lay of the land. And so versus Space Soldiers, this is a big one for them. The decider match, their road to Dallas could end here. And by end, I mean they'll arrive at their destination. They will indeed be getting those tickets booked.
Yeah, so I guess the graphic that I prepared earlier, you know, it's not working. Maybe send it to the wrong email.
We saw it on the standings, right? Astralis qualified with 42, and I think FaZe has 41, Mouse has 40. So obviously, like, if you can get to 42 today, that's going to be enough for you to secure a spot. And I think that's why mousesports really need only 3 points, or maybe even 2, meaning a win in overtime.
Could work out as well. Yeah, that's the deal. And the Space Soldiers standing against them, which we still don't really know how excited I can be about Space Soldiers. I'm so deflated after their Marseille performances.
Yeah, we were definitely talking them up, right? We saw so much good stuff coming out of them, and then sure, they fell flat. It was a pretty cutthroat tournament. You know, we're dealing with the best of one scenarios, and that's the first time anyone has ever looked at them and put pressure on, as opposed to them being a dark horse. I think you have to consider all those factors.
Yeah, I think also playing 2 best of ones in the same day, maybe they just had an off day, right? And
it's possible,
you have to play both of your games, and you just weren't feeling it, because you can see they got crushed 16-2 and 16-7, and the one to Gambit really stands out. I mean, yes, we saw later on in the tournament, Gambit did play better. They were improved, reached the semifinals even, but still with the display of form recently for Space Soldiers, you expected more. And, you know, some people were quick to call them onliners and stuff. I don't think that's really the case. I think they're going to perform much better at upcoming LAN tournaments, but there's definitely a bit of an adjustment period for them.
I agree with that sentiment. I think there's something to keep in mind going into this matchup. Space Soldiers have already qualified. We've outlined it several times. That's a mental thing that plays into this. If I was them, obviously I'd want to prove that, hey, you know, we can still play well. But on the other side of things, they didn't have to show a lot because the games that they lost were blowouts. Maybe keep some of that in your back pocket. Just play the basic CS here. Just aim for trading and chemistry, and hopefully playing the post-plant scenarios fantastically. Keep as much as you can hidden before IEM Sydney, so you can come out there and you can kind of blow everyone out of the water and say, hey, this is what we've really been working on.
I mean, that makes a lot of sense to me. It absolutely does. The thing is, as well, is that let's not forget, if you add context to the teams they lost to, Gambit got to a semi-final.
Astralis won the whole thing.
Astralis won the whole thing. So, really, let's be honest, though it did look weird initially on day one when we're like Gambit beating them 16-7, we didn't realize just how good Astralis were looking. It perhaps doesn't look as hard,
especially in the 16-2 Astralis loss. They lost so many clutches. Like when they were on the T side, they were on the T side in the first half. They had 3v3s, 4v3s, 4v4s. They were just losing everything pretty much on both bomb sides. So that's a situation where you probably could tell also that the nerves maybe got to them a little bit. They weren't fully comfortable because, you know, a team like Space Soldiers on a normal day, they close out at least half of those rounds, right? That's probably worst case scenario. And then you have a much more competitive game at the very least.
And I think one person that was really kind of, well, it's crucial in their wins, absolutely, is going to be Xantares, who was completely absent in Marseille.
Sure.
I mean, bearing in mind, I think for the longest time, it was him and Simple battling to be the best statistically player in the Pro League.
They're still 1 and 2 right now. Simple number 1, Xantares is number 2.
Right,
so,
and he just wasn't playing.
Yeah, but keep in mind, like, this may be an online environment, but they are playing together in a LAN cafe. So, you know, that factor has to come in.
Some gear of some sorts, because there is in their luggage which has been lost.
You think by this point, right? I've said this time and time again.
Don't do your
run. It blows my mind. Why, as a professional Counter-Strike player, first and foremost, are you not traveling with spares? So sure, that's in their luggage that's lost. That's cool, whatever. At that point, I'm like, man, I lost my luggage. Put it in your bloody carry-on, Alex.
Put it in your bloody carry-on.
No, seriously.
But I think, you know, the hassle of pulling out your keyboard at security. What is this? Sir, this is a keyboard.
Let's flip the switch on this.
I've had to do that all the time.
But flip the switch in this scenario. Let's say that you had Space Soldiers in the place of mousesports, and they needed to win here to qualify. And then, oh, I lost my gear, and now I can't qualify for a big event.
I mean,
oh no.
Even more so, like Space Soldiers are traveling from one tournament to the other. They're in Belgrade now for another LAN tournament. I can understand if you're coming home from a tournament, you're like, yeah, just chug it in. You know, I'm going home. It's going to be, if not here today, it's going to be here tomorrow. No one cares. But this is a big deal.
This is a big deal. A big one for mousesports and tough one for Space Soldiers because they just can't quite gauge how much effort they should be putting into this one. I'll be talking to our casters now, Henry G and Tom Biz. They're joining us here at the Xfinity Analyst Desk. Couple of weird scenarios now. Mousesports have to win this. Space Soldiers don't. Like, I mean, it's such a weird one.
Knowing you've got no pressure going into the game, it either takes away that killer instinct, the hunger to really win it, or it relieves a lot of pressure and you can just run on DMing and just blowing everyone out of the water. I don't really know which way it will go down.
I think we'll get the answer quite quickly, right?
Well, I assume so. We'll see what kind of Space Soldiers style comes forward, and hopefully it's still an exciting game. I do think mousesports should take it quite convincingly, though. Here we go. Space Soldiers up against mousesports on Mirage. It's a bit of a mousesports specialist map, so I'm assuming this will be quite a landslide victory, Tom. problem. Just those reasons, I think Space Soldiers won't necessarily be firing on all cylinders, but Xantares certainly is. Nice shot to open things up, takes down Oscar, and will be a commitment towards the A side now from the international squad. Rops will get one more, but Paz is fighting back.
Yeah, already a couple of kills going the way of the CT side, and Rops and Chris J are going to be the only two remaining. They at least do manage to find another kill fighting their way onto the site, but the smokes are going to begin to fade, and they're still looking to try and take these battles to turn it into a 2v2 before they get that bomb down. Rops, he's going to have to cover, and that's not what he does. Now they can just push on to the position of Chris J. Only one remaining, and he's going to get slaughtered in the end. It will be the pistol round, at least a bomb plant for mousesports, which, considering the situation, seemed fairly unlikely, but it does look like Space Soldiers in the end just playing for that retake, making sure they get themselves the round.
Cracking shots by Xantares to open things up. Does get the opening kill, funnels him towards A, and bomb planted, but should be the eco here from mousesports to buy up in the third of the AKs. We're certain that's what will come through. Oh, there's a little cheeky AK for Sunny. He'll go for some armor as well. So this is what we call the tactical purchase recently. Simple does this a lot for Na'Vi. The idea is, you know, you're going to be buying for the next round, so let's see if we can kill maybe 2 or 3 of them and really limit their chances of having full buys when we get the AKs out.
Yeah, I like this, especially when you've got players as talented as someone like Sunny or obviously Simple that can definitely pull off rounds like this, especially when it is sort of the AK. There's not going to be a chance for an AWP fighting in mid, but it is just going to be a 1-for-1 trade. Obviously, that rifle can still be retrieved by another member of the team, although they will not have armor behind it. Chris J does for a second pick up an M4, but there you go. Sticko manages a second kill, looks for the third, but can't quite manage it. However, Calyx now very low, and if they do get a third kill, this will be a pretty incredible round. Either way, Calyx just going to take some map control, go into the palace, a little bit more of a passive position. And they do still have that AK. Now, a second bomb plant here would be wonderful, but I just think with the positions that are currently being held by Space Soldiers, it seems fairly unlikely they have got any sort of cross position being held by Major, and that palace spot should be able to not deny most bomb plants.
If they get one more kill out of this, certainly worth the AK investment. If they only got 2, that's still fine, but ideally get the extra frag. A bomb plant would be excellent.
That would secure a buy for pretty much every single player, but there we go. 25 seconds left on the clock. They're going to be pushing onto the side. Now, Calyx is actually quite far back. I think they're actually going to get themselves a bomb plant here. Unless somebody pushes very aggressively in the last few seconds. But look at Calyx. He started to make his push forward. He should be able to hear the bomb plant the second Oscar looks to go for it. And is he going to go for the denial? Yes, he will. But actually, Ropp saves his teammate. They've turned this into a 2 versus 2. Neither player with an M4 anymore over on that CT side. Major going to be pushing back in. If they can get themselves into a bit more of a passive angle, there's a chance here. And Oscar just waiting around the corner. Maybe a little bit of a surprise, goes for the spray, but Engine with the MP9, and Major will close it. But hey, 3 kills and a bomb plant off the back of 1 rifle. That's a damn good round.
Really not bad at all. That was just 1 AK and armor, rest P250s. Tons of money, taking the money out of the pocket to Space Soldiers. Calyx, decent play with the M4A4. Let's see him getting done here. He's one of the key players of the squad. But here come the AK-47s. Maybe even get the AWP. They really wanted to go nuts. Chris J's got a Tech 9.
He's looking to
Tom,
break
back to you in the studio. What's happened there?
This game.
I think it was him who's doing that over in Marseille.
Maybe he knows something that we don't. Because that's always the case. Like with the CZ, for example, it was like the Tech 9 was just so ridiculous that nobody used it. So maybe he's just like, actually, it's not that bad. Just everybody loves the CZ so much. Or he just doesn't like the CZ, but that seems unlikely.
I haven't seen a kill with the Tech 9 in years now. This could be at the moment.
Counter-Strike years.
Yeah.
It's a bit like dog years.
Well, 2-0 Space Soldiers. mousesports looking to reply.
Damage is actually quite severe. Paz only has himself a P250. Calyx with an MP9.
Yeah.
Not even much utility either. That's the big problem. And Sticko's already going to start things off. Looking to peek back in. Chris Wap, there's the Tech 9 at work. Spamming away and doesn't get anything done. And it actually allows for the trades back to be successful. Sticko with his second of the round. I'm looking for that lurk play from Rops coming out of the palace. Calyx is ready for it, but that MP9 definitely not going to be the ideal weapon in that scenario. And now they're looking to split through the connector, and this should leave Calyx absolutely screwed, but he still gets himself a first and a second as well. No idea how he's got away with that, and it leaves Sticko to now try and ace the round for his team. He does manage to get one, and if you look at the remaining two players, 48 HP between them, mainly because Calyx is so ridiculously low. The only thing that's playing against him now is the time. That nade, well placed, or actually, nope, never mind, does 2 damage. Would have worked onto Calyx, but there you go. Triple kill with an MP9. Two of the kills actually at semi-decent range as well, and he makes some cash.
Wow. Okay, well, Calyx looks absolutely bananas there, jumping around the site, MP9 in hand, and manages to find 3 kills at the end, and those last 2 players were low, but mousesports can't convert the round. 3-0 comes in. It looks like a pretty much full eco for the mousesports squad. Deagles, PT50s, a couple of sets of Kevlar, no nades though, as Paz positions towards middle.
Paz has just decided today that he's not playing with weapons.
What did he have last round?
I think was it him having the P250 as well?
Yeah, I think you're right.
So I think, yeah, so far, just decided he doesn't want a rifle today. And, well, he's going to be taking the battle. Major looking to go a little bit more aggressive. They've got quite a few SMGs in this round, but they seem to be working, and Zontara is always taking that battle into the connector. It's going to be a flawless round for Space Soldiers. And I will actually say that I feel like Calyx, of all the players in this team, I do feel like that he is one that can sometimes buckle under pressure. So with no pressure here, I'm actually excited to see how he performs today, because he is a ridiculous talent.
He is. He's very good indeed. And will certainly be a thorn in mousesports' side here, 4-0. Look who's out and about, though. It is Oscar, and he is quite good with the AWP, so I've heard. So
2 on the other side.
Well, yeah, Paz and Major. And Oscar, this is his classic move. His calling card is go towards B. Very aggressive with the AWP and try and see if he can find an opening pick. Calyx will just be dealt with quite simply there, I'm afraid. MP9, I think, got flashed over and wasn't really doing much for him. Sunny with the second frag, and a third coming in, can't even keep up with the kills at this point. Major and Paz with the AWPs to try and hold on to them, I'd imagine. Oscar, okay. Missed the shot. Round's still theirs, but that was 1 for free.
Yeah, and actually, there you go. Paz is going to find him through the wall. It won't matter. Chris J has already ended one of these AWPers, and Paz is going to fall as well. So a very, very clean round coming out from mousesports. Just basically just patience there was all it took. They waited for the CT side to go aggressive. And we sort of asked the question early on of how Space Soldiers are going to be playing. That was ridiculously aggressive. It looked like sort of after the first kill came into Calyx, everybody was just trying to trade after that.
Towards middle we go. No orbs this time for the CTs. There is a buy, though, after winning 4 rounds in a row. And it's going to be Paz, very, very aggressive, trying to beat the smoke towards shore. He does get damage towards Sunny, but not quite enough, I'm afraid. 5 and 4 for the mousesports squad. And Major will be doing his best to hold them at bay towards short. They've got so much time there. They can just wait up, bleed out some of the CT utility. And it's up to Chris J to just show his hand towards B. They're all going to be triangulating towards that position. You see the bomb making its way over as well. Engine, one of the lesser fraggers of the Space Soldiers machine, will be holding this site pretty much alone. He has got Major in towards CPL.
A lot of pressure on his shoulders at least, and it's going to be throwing out a little bit of counter utility. Just trying to slow down the push, and actually manages to win the opening battle. Almost gets the second as well. And now his teammates have started to rotate in. Zontares is on site. Nice snap to the head of Sticko, but ultimately won't have too much effect. And Major now with a lot to do, but he allows Sunny to cross. Peeks in. Even going to go for the knife kill. Why not? In a 2 versus 3, and actually falls because of it. I have a feeling he may not have done that in a normal scenario. And now Calyx left into the 1 versus 2. Already gets the first onto Oscar. Leaves Rops alone. Bomb still yet to be planted. And Rops looking to try and find his opponent. Taking the battle, knowing that once he goes for this bomb plant, it's likely going to be a peek in. But Rops will just about squeeze the round. It is going to be 4-2. And now the money not there for the CT side.
A knife round in a very curious scenario. It's not like it really brought him a ton of cash. Like it was worth it, you know. And we'll see whether they can do anything with this. It looks like a full eco potentially coming in. I think I agree with you there. I don't think that knife would have happened in a normal scenario. You could just... Normally you want to kill the bomb just for a plant and have your gun ready for any reaction play, right? The fact you have to pull your knife out, then the M4. You're setting yourself up for a potential disaster there.
Either that or you look for the other player first and then kill him and then the bomb planter. Or the person who was
just defuse the bomb as soon as they plant. Imagine that. It's hold E. That's still behind him. Bomb is being used. I would have tried that.
Clearly, you're not quite as edgy as going for a knife kill in a 2v3, but he got a little bit of extra money. I suppose it'll probably net an AWP if they so desire. Nice shot from Engine, at least. There's a few low players. He can look to try and make things costly, but ultimately has little effect. And with the MAC-10s in play that round, there will be some money farmed up already, and, well, likely to see the CTs now forced into this one. I'd be surprised if Major goes for a glass cannon AWP. Like, they do like to bring it in sometimes. They're another team that don't really have a sort of specific AWPer. You see Calyx sometimes pick it up on the CT side. T side, I would normally look to someone like Engine to pick it up if needed, but they're just a team that don't really play around it at all. I quite like it.
Yeah. It's similar to Liquid, right?
Even I think the best example, at least previously, was the sort of legendary Fnatic where JW is like, I'll pick it up if I fancy it. If not, we'll just play with rifles. And, well, obviously one of the best teams of all time, so pretty good example. But either way, we're going to have the push coming in. The MAC-10's obviously quite effective over towards this B site, and Sunny will find an opener with Oscar on a second, but it has been traded back. Zontara is on one more, and Engine goes pushing in with the pistol. In fact, meets Oscar, but Zontares is just firing off. Leaves Sunny alone, 10 HP, a MAC-10. I'm sure he's hoping he can retrieve a rifle, and he won't. Zontares just hitting headshot after headshot, and it will be 5-3 now.
Beautiful stuff from Zontares. Where was that in Marseille? Didn't see much of it at all, but it's looking very good this evening. Well played to him, and we'll be getting into another buy available for mousesports with great work as he rotates in. It's his teammates struggling against Oscar there with the Deagle, but he made up for the mess that was created. So, fire on either side, no AWP, like we said, for Space Soldiers. Bit of a pre-fire toward the air ramp, no bullets landing. Round 9 of 30. We've got to see 60 rounds in the last map, or last matchup. Oscar, that's what I've been waiting for. He's so good at that particular play, going in and taking down players jumping up.
And while they hand him that opportunity. And now the CT side, they don't have much money. So in all honesty, once the B side has fallen, they're going to go completely stacking over towards A. Bomb's still yet to actually push in. They do still have to watch out for Rops, who's just going to look to try and punish them in this lurk role. I imagine the CTs are just hoping to keep onto all their weaponry here. Not going to have a huge amount of loss bonus going into the next round anyway, so it will still be a struggle for Engine. But how many more players are going to be left with nothing in the next round? Already a second will fall in the hands of Rops. He's just looking to try and hide around the backlines. An AK-47 into the hands of the CT will be a slight upgrade, but losing weapons will be more of a problem, and he takes another down. That's already enough for Rops. The Estonian makes things even more costly, and the CT side have gone from saving 4 weapons to a maximum of 2.
It's not looking too good now. Back and forth we go. 4 on 2, and Major and Zontares to save. And it's going to be 5-4 mousesports in the clean round here. They are Mirage specialists.
I think they have been for a while.
Yeah, they really have. It's the map where they actually do a lot of their best work. If you remember, back to the Starladder event they won, that's when they were actually taking scalps in this map every single time. It was insane. But match we pause now, and it'll be technical. That's our favourite kind of one. We see a lot of these on the internet. Counter-Strike. So we don't know who has called it, but normally
maybe in the cafe.
That's a good point. Actually,
maybe someone spilt some coffee on the keyboard or something.
Or like a sausage kebab, something like that. Just kind of fell over.
They've broken another one of their replacement
Did you ever used to go to
keyboards.
LAN cafes when you were younger, like before the internet? You never did?
No.
My dad used to have to take me every weekend to play CS because we didn't have broadband. So I had to go in every Saturday and Sunday I used to go there. And it's like a half-an-hour trip, and he used to have to just take me down because I just wanted to play CS. And I was like maybe 14, 15, and then the internet arrived. Never went back, but it was a fun time. Like, I just can't imagine how LAN centers even make money this much these days anyway. Like, who's going to LAN centers?
Well, I did when I first was going to Kiev, because the studio, well, you were there. It literally is.
Sure.
Well, where they build everything
arena, right?
up, yeah, it's just normally a LAN cafe. So it's funny when you walk into the back studio room when an event is on, because they've just taken about 100 chairs, all of the computers, and just managed to stack them up into a space that's like the size of this room. And I still have no idea how they do it. It's the same like with building all the stages and stuff.
Well, they did
so
that PUBG stage after we left that time. That was insane how they turned that around that like truss set up and stuff like that like 24 hours later. So they obviously know what they're doing over there.
Well, actually, yeah, I stayed like after that week and just went walking into the room. I was like, sort of looking around like how.
Yeah.
But that's happened so many times to me, like going into the studio, coming back the next day, and it's like, this is World of
Different
Warcraft
setup.
event. Like,
Yeah.
what's happened here?
Yeah, they are very good over there. I like that. So yeah, LAN cafes, for anyone who's unaware, we should probably get you on the same page. Space Soldiers are in Serbia right now, I believe, playing from the LAN cafe. They came back from Marseille. They're at some other event or something like that, or boot camping. I don't know. Maybe they're the same event you were talking about with Bigger at.
Maybe. I don't know.
No one seems to know. But someone's at an event or at a LAN center. We don't know. And they have lost their gear tonight as well. They got lost their flight. It might be there by now. That was a couple of days ago, I think. But yeah.
Well, I do feel like the Space Soldiers are quite unlucky with that. Like they managed, again, going
Well,
to.
as Chad said, is keep your gear in your.
Well, no, that wasn't even. I'm talking like with WSG, one of their flights. They missed. There was like a flight from one of the airports in China to another one, which is literally an hour flight. I know because I did that flight. Yeah. They managed to miss it, and there wasn't another one for like a day. I was just like, when it's that close, it must be the most infuriating thing in the world because it's like, we could probably swim there just as quick.
Yeah, no train, I'm guessing. No, nothing.
It was a tiny little. I think it was Haiku, a tiny little island. So underwater train maybe, or a boat. But either way, that doesn't get much easier for Sunny. Line up early on. It is going to be a double kill already. Still got Zontares with the rifle. Some of the players are forced down. May just saved a little bit of extra money, maybe attempting to get that AWP a little bit later on, but ultimately it's already looking bleak. Bomb actually rotating towards the A site, and there's currently 3 players there, so if there's any way they're going to win this round, this may be it. Calyx looking for a little bit of aggression, so is Paz, but he will fall to Rops, who is pretty much just king of the palace. Like, he seems to be winning every single duel that comes up in there at the moment.
Oof. Zontares still keeping the dream alive here. AK-47 finds Sunny. They are going towards A, and Calyx is there with the best pistol in the game, best weapon in the game. He'll get one. Looking for the second, can't quite convert it. That should be round at this point, but Zontares still fighting back. Tooth and Nail. Oh, won't be enough though. 5-5. mousesports tie things up. Just to give you context, mousesports need these victories now. Space Soldiers have already qualified for the Dallas finals, happening in about 3 weeks' time. And mousesports have not yet. They just need 2 points from this particular matchup, and it'll be enough, which is certainly doable. All they have to do is either lose twice in overtime, win once in overtime, or just win a map flat out.
Yeah.
Lots of options.
It's not a huge amount of pressure. Like, they should be able to steal that one away. I don't know how many more games they have after that if they don't manage to do it. If this is the only game, then maybe there is a little bit more pressure on it. But yeah, we are going to have the aggressive push into middle. Just pistols this time, so not expecting too much, but if they can steal this AWP away from Oscar, that would be something at least. He's trying to look around. Second knife for the game already for Space Soldiers. I don't know if they're having a little bit of a competition. I know that that's actually happened before. It was one of the most brutal things I've ever seen. It was Fnatic played Fnatic Academy.
I was on train, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I remember
and
that.
JW went to try and break the record for how many knife kills in a match. I think he equalized it, or maybe it was in a
That's
series.
when he was playing against Golden.
Yeah.
That's kind of nuts to think about now.
Yeah, no, it's true, actually. I wonder if he still remembers the BM just sometimes. Like, oh, yeah, I'm going to buy an AWP. No, you're not.
6-5. And it will be mousesports taking the lead for the first time. Money pretty good, though, for Space Soldiers. A bit of buy up again. mousesports, after a rough start, looking quite poised to take this one now. It is a CT-sided map, so this isn't too bad for them. Here's Paz showing us what he can do with a USP. And the knife, of course, as he took down Oscar.
I think that may have actually been enough to get him an AWP as well. So that time it actually did have some level of economic impact, as they will have a double AWP set up once again. You are going to have him actually get the opening pick as well, and the second. So Sunny will fall. No more aggression into middle for the T side, as only Sticko remains. The remaining looking to try and split on towards this A side. Now Calyx is homed in, or at least was, on the ramp where Chris J is currently waiting. Connector split from Sticko, but it seems like from the push already coming around the back, all the information is there for the CT side of where this push is coming in. Paz nets his third kill of the round with the AWP, but Sticko does manage to catch Zontares with his pants down, so it is just going to be a trade back into a 3 versus 2. Chris J on the site. Leave Paz completely blind, but here comes Engine. This pincer should make things completely impossible. Sticko will at least take him down, but now doesn't have control of the bomb. And both players in CT, both with AWPs though. So a mistake or two could give him a chance. Fake flash over, not going to do anything, but Major does miss the shot. However, Sticko does the same and is now tagged down to just 7 HP. May just want the bomb plant to get a little bit of extra cash as a couple of players are low, but instead takes the headshot onto Paz and turns things into a 1 versus 1. He's actually going to bait things out again, goes for a similar play and hits the headshot through the corner of the box.
Wow.
Sticko.
4 kills as well.
Not a man really renowned for clutching, but
no,
that was one hell of a clutch.
He even missed the jump to go up and peek him in spawn and just says, you know what, I'm just going to straight up face him. And what a shot that was. Luckily, hits the final kill. Round number 13. mousesports now a 7-5 lead, presumably going to be 8 with the current buy they're up against. Space Soldier just with Deagle, CZs. Paz just the USP. And mousesports starting to get into 5th gear perhaps, because Sticko, you're right, not known for huge impact clutches, although he has had a few in his career. If that starts happening, you could be in for a bumpy ride.
Chris J, big fan of this MP7. I think he's one of the people I most see using it, but not in this round at least. Zantares is going to take him down with the Deeg. This should be a fairly easy round for the T side, not too much invested. Well, you do still have to worry about these pistols. Can't take them too lightly. Rops just going to be dancing in the Molotov and actually goes down as well. Already a couple of kills and the T's are rotating in towards the stack. There's still 4 players here. Sunny somewhat stuck. Major even looking to come in on the flank and will be going round through the palace. So he'll have the perfect angle to try and take down some of these players. The problem is when you get stuck on this ramp, it's one of the worst positions in the game. If you just slow down, you really can get caught by absolutely anything. Even USPs can do enough damage, but they are at least using their utility. Further damage done, however, and now Major pounces, but he's still only going to get 1. It's left onto Sticko again. This time he has 8 HP, and a rotation here is going to leave him with very little time.
There's enough to get the bomb down, but it will be a race once his play, though, goes towards middle. You're going to be just about to jump out of the apartments right now. Goes short instead, and I'm afraid that's his cue to leave, as Paz will take him down. Paz was waiting there either way, so it's not like he had a massive chance of winning the round going for the apartment. So gave it a go, didn't work out, and that's an eco victory for Space Soldiers there. Plenty of money here. The orbs come out once again. AKs for Major. Oscar on the AWP. Still in this game. Could be another 30 rounders. Things.
No convincing victory seen as of yet today. Aggression coming out from Paz. He's looked pretty good with this AWP so far. However, Rops has been the king of the palace. Rounding the corner, though, not going to have a chance versus the AWP. And remaining players, or at least the majority of them for the T side, are just setting up over towards this A site utility going to be expended, and Sticko just looking to lurk in from behind later on. However, there's still a player waiting up towards those apps, so he isn't just going to have a free push through B. And in fact, by the looks of things, after all the utility's been expended, the T's are going to look to try and double back around towards this B site. But the fact is, it's not as if it's empty. There's still a man here, and Engine finds a pick, and now I feel like the 2 remaining players are going to be stuck in limbo.
Here they come, Sunny and Chris J, with it all to play for. Less than a minute, just jump out of the house, and we'll see if this will do anything for them. Zantares, though, pretty much shuts down any chances of them winning it by getting one of those kills, and he might not be done just yet. Of course he's not. Zantares, such a great aimer, and it begs the question, if he did have like fluent English, what he would be up to, whether he'd be a potential candidate for likes of FaZe and all that sort of stuff. But doesn't seem like anyone's really showed that much significant interest in that, in him just letting him do his own thing. And Space Soldiers, he seems happy to play there as well. I'm sure he doesn't want to leave Turkey, you know, so it makes sense.
Well, I think that people most of the time don't really talk about whether he'd leave. It's whether Woxic would join. That's normally the one that's always mentioned. But to be honest, I think from both teams' perspectives that it may not be the most beneficial thing. I think Woxic's doing pretty well in Hellraisers, and the Space Soldiers team, I don't think they've hit the heights that they can on LAN. I do think that that was a bit of an anomaly. Or I hope it was, at least.
Well, like they said, they lost to the team Astralis, so #1 team in the world right now, won the event and looked the best they've ever looked. As the Pistols will try and finish things off for mousesports 3-2, and they lost to Gambit as well. We had a great resurgence into that event, got to the semi-finals. You know,
Yeah.
they took down some big names on their way there. They lost to Na'Vi, so there you go. 3-1. Oscar unlikely to win this one. Calyx makes sure of it, and they're actually going to end up winning the half. Space Soldiers there, a little bit weird. You'd think, all things considered, that mousesports would be gunning and hungry for it, and Space Soldiers might look a little bit off. We thought we might sort of signs of that with a knife attempt. 2 of them, yep, that's right. But they actually end up winning the half. So there you have it.
Yeah, I think we've seen also a lot of just sort of ridiculous plays that you may not be able to predict. Like Zontaris has been taking a lot of aggression when it comes to retaking sites. He's just pushing in and individually winning fights versus multiple players. So I think, as you sort of said at the beginning during the death segment, that it can work both ways. That they could just take this too lightly and then mousesports could run away with it, but at the same time they might just enjoy themselves. And then
no pressure at all, really, is there?
That's where some players can actually be more scary. If they're just having fun, you see just some of the most ridiculous plays. I think that's an example of Simple, like maybe 6 months or so ago.
I was thinking
at
the start of the season, it could be. We've always talked about the idea of getting reward per victory in Pro League, so you got like $1,000 per map win.
Yeah.
And then that kind of takes it all equates. Then it's still the same sort of league format. Then the LAN finals has its own prize pot. That could be quite a cool idea, just to kind of avoid that particular idea, you know.
Well, especially it's worse. Say, for example, if a team is relegated.
Sure.
Then there's literally no point. Like, you could at least say for pride or something in these games, like wanting to finish top, but at least pistol round. That's a couple of decent trade backs from the T side. Looked like the CTs had this one dead to rights in a 5 versus 3. The only problem is the bomb is dropped onto the site, so they need to win this back, and Paz is already going to pick himself up one more. Rops is there, but Enger's managed to wrap round from behind. It takes a few shots, but he does the work, and it leaves Chris J alone. 1 versus 3. Bomb comfortably going to be retrieved. Actually, Mage has retrieved a lot of utility, but Paz will at least fall. But look at the bomb. Is it just going to go back to B?
Chris J could stop everything here. They know he's there, but they will find the kill regardless. So it's going to be Engine to take him down in the end. Space Soldiers now have quite the lead. They might be able to look for the 3-0. We'll see what kind of buy is presented by Mousesports. They are going to be fully investing. Even Oscar will kick things off. The AWPer have the CZ armor, so they are confident in their ability to win it. CZs, Deagles, and no kit, no nades.
And a fairly risky buy coming in from Space Soldiers. Lots of SMGs. Definitely a chance here, especially considering there's head armor on every single player. In terms of battles, I could actually see Mousesports winning this round. And well, the one thing that they don't have the advantage is utility or against jumping Mac 10 shots, which will hit Chris J down to 8 HP. You can't really do anything to counter that.
Yeah, that's a bit of a weird one. Here's the wallbang attempt from Sunny. Smoke will come in though. Sticko's been tagged up. Oscar's been removed. And that's going to be quite the lead now for Space Soldiers. Sticko and Chris J, the walking wounded. Calyx has been tagged to 4 HP. Major looking towards CT spawn. Not going to find anything just yet. But all 4 players now from Mousesports starting to position himself on the A site.
Well, really looking for one of those SMGs over on the Space Soldiers side to maybe find out some information over towards that B side. We'll turn back to a 4 versus 4, but 3 players so low. Mac 10s could just shred them, but it seems like the CT side have the read here. Going to rotate the remainder of their players here. Calyx is down to just 4 HP, so he's more than vulnerable at this point. Actually, Sunny's going to take him down. Now the push comes in onto the side. Sticko's here, but it seems like right towards the depths of this round, it is going to come down to just Rops. He's had his moments with this Deeg, but I feel like this is too much to ask, and Space Soldiers, they will convert.
Negating the force buy of Mousesports, Space Soldiers should find themselves 11-7 now, with just a full eco to get past here in round number 18. Nothing purchased from what I can see for Chris J and Co. PT50 for Rops comes out, and Space Soldiers, yeah, looking in a pretty good spot. Remember, Mousesports on the CT side now. The game really begins when they bring out their weaponry.
Is there anything gained for like the position you finish in the league? Like
yeah, there's more. Oh, so you mean like if you come first in the Pro League?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you'll go against whoever is last place. You'll get like you come as a top seed.
Okay. So there is still like a level of value here for Space Soldiers looking to finish at the very top.
Sure. Yeah.
Especially considering, like, a lot of the time they will get some of the, like, because they're going through qualifiers, in most tournaments they'll get some of the worst seeding.
The thing is, though, in CSGO right now, it's
yeah.
anyone can win, it seems like. It's not
true.
like you could just turn up and get who you think is an underdog who has an absolute lights out event, and he's like, oh, well, I've been absolutely wrecked here. Yeah, I don't know. I take that with a pinch of salt. But yes, there is something to it. You do come in as a high seed to the event, and the group stages are picked via those. There'll be, I think, 16 teams now at Pro League finals.
The only thing that would come in with that, though, is that you could look at who's potentially going to finish around that 6th and 7th spot, and you do potentially get teams like mousesports, FaZe could be around there. You could even have like G2, Fnatic.
Yeah, that's a good point as well. Like, it's not like you get some pushovers. Like, you just got the way. It's the Pro League. Like, these are the best teams available in the region.
In fact, I feel like a lot of the teams might actually not mind facing off against Space Soldiers if they're the #1 seed. I feel like they'd be pretty happy with that. Either way, early in the round, trade has come in. CT side still with some missing weaponry. Spray through does a decent amount of damage, and the CTs are looking to try and take control. Calyx spray is wild, and Sunny has cleaned this up on his own. 3 kills in middle. Major going to be the only one left. They do have enough money to buy into the next one, or at least somewhat. Calyx will be a little bit limited, but if you can get this kill, there's actually a chance for a bomb plant. Oscar won't allow it. Sunny survives on just 1 HP, and the CTs will be back on the board on their CT side.
11-8. mousesports doing everything they can here. Allpool making an appearance again, this time in the hands of Major. So Oscar will have to bide his time to get their weapon back out. Round 20. mousesports not changing things up in terms of aggression. Very standard round as he drops their key player for mousesports in towards CT spawn. Major looking for that first pick, and Sticko might be able to give it to him.
He's actually been tagged fairly low. The smoke won't allow for too much more. Not far away, but won't net anything early in the round, and the T's are looking like they're going to try and take a little bit of control into middle. Oscar here, not with his trusty AWP, a rifle instead, and Suntares will win that duel. Chris J looking to try and push back in, and although the flashbang is good, he won't be able to find anything, though. In the previous round, Sunny was a menace. Does further damage onto Major, but this all looks like they're trying to find some sort of return into this round with the aggression into middle, but thus far, the T's have been able to hold on. Released. Chris J. He's going to find himself another pick. The T's still sat in a bit of a default here. We don't have much time left, though. Only 30 seconds left on the clock.
30 seconds is fine, Tom. That's all you need, really. You're in T spawn, you've got 30 seconds remaining. Walk. Just have a stroll.
Especially with Chris already holding the angle, he'll find all the information for his team. However, they are going to be able to cross over. If he can drop the bomb here, the round is pretty much done, and Paz is pushed into the site alone, left completely blind. 10 seconds left as the T's will just have to try and scramble into the site, and it seems like the time has got the better of them. Calyx gets a couple of kills, but ultimately the clock will act as another member of the mousesports team, and they will get themselves a 9th.
mousesports do win the round. Chris J, like you said, he just gets that 1 kill, that was over. Got a couple in the end, and bought some time. Major couldn't even explore the idea of trying to make it theirs as we go 11-9. Space Soldiers with where did he find that orb, or did he buy it? He had an AK at the end of the previous round, didn't he?
Yeah, I think. I don't know. No, Major did have an AWP at the beginning of the round, so maybe he went back and picked it up.
Yeah, that's right. So he probably had the AK to like try and scramble the round together, and then picked up the orb to go to the next round.
Well, they're already going to know it's here. He's fired off shots out towards the palace. Remaining players set up towards the ramp. Sunny. Again, he's definitely building into this CT side, and it's a pretty scary prospect. The T's just going to fall back, not really willing to try and take the fight towards that A site anymore, and rightly so. There's multiple players here. However, secondary AWP, I think something extremely effective for this mousesports roster, and You can see Chris J in such an aggressive angle. He's going to find so much information. Now, this is why they've gambled on the other side of the map with so many players. It's because Chris is just ready and waiting to spot the pixel. And I imagine, yeah, instantly Sticko is just going to start his rotation back towards the site to support his IGL. Pop flash even thrown in, just to slow them even further. Don't have a huge amount of utility left, but once again, the clock is ticking. And they're really relying on Major to find some sort of opening pick here. But peeking into this apartment's position is definitely not going to be easy. I feel like if he wins this duel, I'll be very, very surprised. But actually, Chris misses the shot, and Paz has found another in the meantime, catching the rotation. However, now the pistol's just looking to bounce back in. It's not going to work out. Major still on that AWP, 20 seconds left, and Paz left alone, no armor. Does manage to at least get one, but it won't be anything more.
Sticko lighting them up again. Pretty decent evening from him so far as they find double digits. mousesports looking to take the lead once again, as here he comes, spraying them all down. They jump out one by one, and he manages to drop the bomb and live up to the expectations he's been setting for himself so far in terms of this good performance he's showing. A little bit of wallbang damage there to finish things off. Mac 10 for Major. Sunny misses the jump, has to go back through the connector, uses the smoke. Does go off eventually, and he'll be using that as a bit of a veil to try and get kills towards top and middle.
A bit of a switch up in setup. Not going to have Chris J over towards the apartments early. This time it's Sticko. They've gone for a little bit more in terms of middle control, but the T's all waiting up in apps. Sticko actually going to get a little bit more aggressive, and again, this means that they can have this sort of gamble spot where the CTs play much further over towards that A site. And they actually have a double setup on ramp at the moment, which, well, not only nets them a little bit of extra information, will catch the push earlier on, but also can be a bit more of a surprise. Sunny, he's definitely gaining in confidence over the last few rounds. Sat at the top of middle, in the smoke. Not going to have anybody near him. They are doubling back towards this B site once again, and this could be a lot onto Sticko once more to have the impact we've been waiting for. He has support from Chris J with the AWP, who's just going to be lurking to move back around. Sticko still hasn't been spotted. They haven't cleared this angle, and he's just waiting patiently. Hits the timing perfectly. Nets a double kill once again. Spots out Major jumping, who's trying to hit him with the Mac 10, and does manage to do it at least. Turns it into a 3 versus 3, but there's another flank already in.
Oh, wow. Engine's done very well with this positioning. Oscar's going to have no idea. Down he goes. Quick kill, and looks like Space Soldiers are going to maintain their lead, actually, as they might have to save the AK. And M4, Sunny's pretty much all in. He has not got a kit. Could be a nice little spot to have gone for the Ninja, but good incendiary. Will at least isolate the player towards the bench. Major not peeking, wisely so. Times it to perfection. Rob's not going to win this one, I'm afraid. He's got way too much up against him. Mac 10 will be his first and only obstacle as Major takes him down. Round 23, and I think it might be an eco. This is the night of upsets by the looks of things, Tom, as mousesports were the dead cert for the favour on this. And it's mousesports that need the points.
Yeah, no, Space Soldiers at this point, they are playing for, well, seeding and maybe for a little bit of pride. I think it would mean something to them at least to finish top of the Pro League season.
That's true, just like their inaugural season coming in and topping it. That'd be pretty historic. I think that would be the first. I think they're the first team to come from MDL and go straight to the finals in their first season. If they come straight from MDL and win the whole thing, that'd be nuts.
That would be utterly crazy, but we'll see if they can do it. In fact, they're struggling versus just pistols at the moment, and they have got stuck on that ramp once again. It's definitely not a position you want to be in. I feel like if you just get stuck in that spot, you can easily lose rounds, but Zontares has managed to split out the Palace, and that will give them a little bit more control. Peeking from Engine. Gets himself one, but does fall to Chris J. So even still, they're going to win this round. I'd be very surprised if they don't.
Hold on, it's getting a little bit awkward there. Okay. No. Yeah, sometimes got to take that to 11 with the silent USP. I thought there's a chance, but there it is. 13-10. Money getting to a more stable position for mousesports, but this game certainly hasn't been comfortable for them.
Yeah, well, T-side. The one thing that mousesports have been able to do is keep their economy honest. They are winning themselves these rounds. Won the half by just a singular, so are still winning themselves a T-side. Chris J now going to be missing the jump, so we've seen that a couple of times now. And instead, he gets the opening over towards that underpass anyway. The only problem is he's a little bit locked into this position and getting out of here. Not going to be easy. Okay, peeks out, never mind. Takes the shot onto Paz as well, even looking for the third. But it's Rops to find that instead. Engine's still sort of stuck at the top of mid. Actually gets hit through the boxes. Now incredibly low on HP and leaves just Major left in the end. Great round coming out from Chris. Are we going to see Sticko jump up here? Will his head survive?
Oof, good shot.
He is completely surrounded though. CTs have also got control of the bomb, so realistically there should be no chance of survival for Major, but could look to make things costly. CT side with the bare minimum amount of cash, but the T's themselves, this weapon save could actually be crucial. They're not going to have a buy anyway, but it will at least give them something to play around. However, Oscar doesn't like that idea. Executes his opponent, and, well, they've now, just off the damage really done in the previous round, have done enough to actually reset Space Soldiers to a point where they can't really buy here.
I think you might be right. PD50's Deagles. And it's the right thing to do. No need to force into this round. You've still got the lead, and you have another gun round coming up very quickly. They shouldn't really cause too much of a dent here. And that's an incendiary thrown to block any smokes that come into contact with the window. It means you don't actually get fully phased off by them. It's something we're seeing more and more of. Can be an expensive investment if the smoke never comes, but still, I think well worth it.
HG did a nasty amount of damage, and Sunny is going to spot that there's a couple of players close to the connector, can give the information over to Oscar, and even looks to try and go back for a little bit more, and as well, Engine looks to have someone on his head, never mind. Calyx still quickly able to trade, looking for a little bit more, hits the dink, and there's now a couple of low players over on the CT side. I'm hoping, for sanity's sake, we're not about to see a straight return in the same sense we just saw in the previous round, where, or a couple of rounds ago, where the pistols did a huge amount of damage. The T's will be able to buy into the next round anyway, and if mousesports even take too many casualties here, losing the next could leave them in a position where they're actually reset towards the end of this. Chris J waiting, does hit the headshot onto Paz, and 45 seconds left on the clock. Bomb retrieval and not much to play with at all on the Space Soldier side. I think they're just going to want to try and maybe take a kill or two.
4 on 2. Calyx Major. Doesn't know this one will be possible. They'll be pushing the vent, and their Sticker will execute them. There's the first. Major. Ooh, did spot the feet, but what happened there? Someone dropped out.
Well, Zontaris is currently in the server twice, so I'm going to go ahead and say yes.
So battery
I don't think they'd mind that, actually.
Yeah, just cloned him quickly, get him back in there. Yeah, I don't think many people would.
Or at least he can just be like, well, you didn't kill me.
Yeah.
I didn't die.
Well, it still gives over the money, unfortunately. The new update in CSGO, if you die randomly, gives
well, yeah, it depends who it is, though. Because if it gives the money to Oscar, that's not so much of a problem.
Yeah.
If there was someone with like an
it
XM...
randomly allocates the money, doesn't it? It just goes like, someone's getting the money. Oof, Oscar, good opening pick. Looking to tie things up again, 13-13.
Going to have a couple more kills going their way, leaving the remaining 2 Ts isolated and just being tagged down by these nades. Spray through the smoke actually does a hell of a lot of damage onto Sunny. But again, they're just looking to fall back, and it seems like Space Soldiers are getting a bit bogged down, trying to push in towards this site. To have Rops now pushing through the Palace, and a rotation in from Sunny, who is tagged, 22 HP. There's a chance, but the only problem is they could get a bit of a false positive here that they've rotated away. Him pushing through the Palace, I imagine he'll turn back and check towards the ramp. But if the timing works out, they could actually push onto the site without him really being there. He's going to start making his way through. And this still holds players on the other side, but nah, him going back, that should be the end of the round. 45 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, this is looking like a perfect Rob's flank. I don't think they'll even get a plant here. He might even get a chance to show us what he can do from this position. Calyx is going for a little cheeky fake plant here. Just try and bait someone out. They're not even going to take the bait. There's Robs to finish things off, 13-13. I think that's money done again for Space Soldiers.
And now, well, spoke about the reset on the other side. mousesports have managed to at least set Space Soldiers back to the bare minimum here. They will have a buy going into the next round. They can look to try and do some damage with the pistols, which they have done previously, but the fact is here, it seems like mousesports are back in that driver's seat, and as we said, it is much more crucial for them to take themselves this victory. Space Soldiers already qualifying for Dallas after a very successful season. Don't think that can be argued. And I'm hoping that we'll get to see their true potential.
Yeah?
In Dallas. Yeah, I like this team. I think they're exciting to watch.
I think so. I kind of lost the hype a bit from Marseille, but kind of took the wind out of my sails at least, or the fuel out of my rocket. If you know what I mean. Space Soldiers, yeah.
Yeah,
so
no,
you didn't need explaining. You got it.
No, I got it. Sticko, once again, he's had an excellent game so far and looking to continue it, getting completely overwhelmed. He tries to switch over to the CZ, but won't be able to. Bomb plant will be going down. Molotov should do a bit of damage to Zontares at least, but Engine could be the one to turn this round. Peeks out, but the timing isn't quite there. Major, however, will find one. Even retrieves the rifle and turns it into a 2 versus 2. I feel like Rops may just end this, though. Already picks off one and leaves it onto Zontares to try and close this out. 1 versus 2, and it's just not happening. Oscar finds the kill. Still not a bad round for Space Soldiers in the grand scheme of things, as they didn't have too much invested in that round. A bomb plant will help them secure a decent buy into the next. And we'll have double AWP still for mousesports.
Yep, absolutely. Oscar and Robs will give his to Chris J as they home in on victory. Remember, there's one map victory tonight for mousesports, guarantees them a spot in Dallas. So if they can just win Mirage in regulation time, that will be enough. If they can win it in overtime, that would be enough. So
just don't lose, basically.
Or
if you do lose in overtime twice, and then you're still fine.
No, that's true. That would be a weird way to qualify. Well, they lost both maps, but they have qualified.
Yeah.
So there is that.
Also the longest way to qualify as well.
For anyone who's not aware and wondering why we're talking about points so much, this is the final week of Pro League. Last 3 days. This is the first of 3. Final day, we don't even broadcast like this. We have like all the games play at once, like we do every season. It's like and we just go around in a circle trying to find out which is the most exciting game to follow. So it means no one can kind of play with the scores and try and persuade things. You know, either way, it will be Chris J to open things up, but not for long though. Sunny will have to defend B alone as he waits for rotations to come through. Bomb not planted. That's good news for mousesports here, who are hunting for match point. Calix will try and plant here. Tentatively brings it in, but the Molotov not quite deep enough. Allows Calix to get it down there. Rops will still find the kill. Calix still fighting back. Probably going to get another one here. He does. 1 versus 1. Can Rops close it out against Major, who's by the van right now? Rops has no grenades, but he probably has an idea as to where Major is, but any idea he had has been removed from his head as he's been blown off. 14-14. And now, I mean it this time, Tom, all the rounds are going to be played. You can't avoid it this time. However much you want it to be.
Did we get all of the rounds in the last one, or was it
16-13, I think.
So 16-14, 16-13. Long day so far.
Right down to the wire.
Yeah, every single game, but I'm going to see whether mousesports can at least get themselves 1 point. Already, though, Chris J with just sheer aggression catches out Engine.
This would be a really harsh reset. If mousesports win this round, or to be fair, as Space Soldiers do, the other team's on an eco. Look, everyone's fully invested. Whoever wins this round pretty much wins the game. It comes down to that. Maybe a slight caveat if there is a bomb plant, that will change things, but let's see.
Already, opening pick has gone the way of the CT side. They're almost halfway to the amount of points that they need. We're going to have to peek aggressive from Oscar, looking for another kill, but he misses the shot, and that will give Space Soldiers away right back into this round. Still plenty of time for them to play with, and Chris J is going to be posted up. The smoke will leave him without any vision. He'll have to fall back, and now mid-control late in the round is still taken by Space Soldiers. Looking like they may opt to go for a bit of a split, but Sunny is just waiting patiently. Already picks off one. Paz quick to trade. Major's found another, and it's backwards and forwards in this round. The bomb still yet to make its way towards the site, but Major's going strong. Finds another one, and he leaves it all onto Rops. The youngster into the 1 versus 2, switching from that FAMAS to the AWP. Now Major's already tagged low. Calix Oh, he's going to get caught. Down to the 1 versus 1. Rops with the chance to take them to OT, and that's exactly what he does. As a minimum, mousesports have got themselves that first point towards Dallas, and it's off the back of Rops with the clutch.
He loves a clutch, doesn't he? He is quite good at them. This was such an important round. Remember, the bomb does get planted, which gives an extra $800 to each player out of Space Soldiers. So that does give them somewhat of a buy. They'll take a pause here shortly, and we'll find out what they go for. I've got a feeling it's still happening. Overtime's still on well on the cards. These are the sort of rounds that just lights the fire beneath some players. Get a CZ out, a Mac 10, rush somewhere, a few awkward orb shots missed.
Maybe Zontaras gets his, like, 1 quad kill that seems to come in every single game.
Here we go. All 5 players on the B side of the map for Space Soldiers.
Looking like we're going to see a couple of players probably just dive straight out of the window, try and take some of the vision away and set up those rifles onto Paz and Zontaras. Flashbangs, the main form of utility, and a couple of Molotovs as well. However, already 2 players dedicated towards this B site. Sunny going to be boosted up as well. May not be something expected, and Chris J has already found himself that opening pick. Sticko has got the second as well. It's looking dead to rights, but Zontaras at least manages to find 1 back. Calyx with another as well. Sunny, his boost has now been spotted, but he gets 2 kills. Leaves it all onto Paz. He'll eventually trade 1 back. However, into the 1 versus 2, Rups peeks out. It has been closed. mousesports, they have taken themselves through to Dallas.
They're going to Dallas. That's right, Tom. They needed 2 points. That was 3. Wasn't the cleanest of games, wasn't the prettiest of games, but it's enough to get the points on the board. Book the plane ticket. See you in Dallas, mousesports. Very well done. They were ranked number 2 in the world last month. They slipped down to number 5 now, but looking to prove themselves in the LAN finals. That's a great achievement for them. Pressure off. One of the teams we wanted to see there out of the 14 available, and Space Soldiers already guaranteed to go through, just to note. So there you have another map to be played, maybe a little bit more redundant this one considering both teams are qualified, Tom, but we'll take a break and be back with these 2.
Incendiary out.